my boy RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys, I thought put together a really good piece, with the headline, as the arms race in the AFC spikes, the Cowboys are missing a chance to dominate a weakened NFC. And that really got me to thinking, why won't the Cowboys act like what other teams are doing, specifically in the AFC West? The Raiders, Chandler Jones, Devontae Adams. The Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson, Randy Gregory. The Chargers, Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson. Even the Chiefs themselves have made moves. They signed, Justin Reed, and they just happen to have arguably the best quarterback in the NFL in Patrick Mahomes. And then they go and sign Juju Smith-Schuster to go along, with the offense.
Don't forget about the Buffalo Bills, arguably the best team in the league last year.
Well, I was just mentioning the West specifically, but yes, you're right. In the East with the Buffalo Bills,
come on now.
Von Miller, yeah.
You go down the list of these teams fortifying their rosters, saying, okay, we are contenders. Let's go for this B. And here's Steven going, no.
Cat boy.
Let me tell you what's so sad. I think most real Cowboy football fans, the ones that follow along real well, I'm not just talking about grandma and them, the ones that say, I've been for my whole life, and you just kind of look at them from afar. They know the opportunity was there. Tom Brady had retired. Aaron Rodgers was the only quarterback that was left. The NFC was pretty much wide open for the taking. It wasn't like, you got all these quarterbacks everywhere. I mean, it was like you had a 12-5 team. You had a team that you knew had a good roster of veterans, guys in their prime, and you knew the coaches just kind of screwed that thing up. You knew that Kellen Moore wasn't seasoned enough. You knew that the offensive line coach staff was raggedy, that the offensive line just needed to be fixed, and just let's run it back again. Mike McCarthy wasn't about nothing, but you brought back Dan Quinn. That's what it looked like going into free agency. It's like, okay, all we have to do is get a couple of pieces here and there. And what the hell? He pulls up the Cowboys bus. That bus that Jerry takes to combine all the time. He took that bus right up to Walmart, parked it in the handicap spot, and Steven walked out.
And Steven went down aisle 5 and found himself a couple of players. But look, as the TruckWreck.com text line says, hey, from the 214, didn't the Cowboys last year do bargain bin players and free agents, and they ended up being stars this year? So why would they do anything different? See, that's the point where I get upset, because yes, they did do that, and the team went 12-5. When you're able to then hopefully parlay that success, that's the part where you go for it. Yeah. Because you're close. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean, hey, let's deconstruct the roster a little bit because we want to save cap space.
See, that's the part that I'm mad about. It's one thing to say, okay, we're going to run it back the way we've been running it back as far as going the second week of free agency. No, you got rid of players first. You got rid of players first and started lying about the cap. Saying, we're over the cap and we can't afford this guy and we can't afford that guy. Meanwhile, all the contenders around the league, we're $80 million over the cap. Let's just pull these levers right here and backload this. I could go on and on and on. Rams ain't never done that. Rams went to the 2 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. We could go on and on and on.
Got better this offseason.
Yeah, about the contenders doing what it took, as opposed to, we're over the cap, and let's just lie about our players and say we can't afford them, and then get rid of them. And then botch the one guy. The one guy
the one guy they thought was guaranteed to come back. They couldn't even get that done. Oh, my God.
It's just so maddening. It's like, wait a minute. Okay, here's what they were going to do. They're going to say, okay, we got rid of all these other guys so we can say, we had to say, Tank, take this pay cut so we can get this to Randy. Okay, Randy, you ready? Oh, that clause that Denver didn't have in there? Yeah, well, that's standard for us. We got to add this. Botch that negotiation. You could call the agent the devil, and he was. Don't matter. You gave him the reason. This isn't the first devil you've danced with before. You got to be smarter than that. And at the same time, like I said, you have no plan B. The franchise tag that you could have used on anybody else, you put that on a guy, my new best friend, Dalton Schultz, who's not elite. He's just there for Dak. Anybody could be there for Dak in the flat. All you have to do is hold the ball, catch it, That's not elite. This guy's defensive coordinators are not going to suddenly double team Dalton Schultz. He's not Kittle.
Of course not. Hey, Tolo from the 505, the answer to your question is yes. Are we the Dallas Falcons or the Atlanta Cowboys? Yes is the answer to that question.
Got another answer, yes, to your question from the 469. The answer is yes. Do you think Dan Quinn regrets coming back? Yes. The answer is yes.
Wow. But that's the thing. When you start thinking about how weakened the NFC has gotten and the amount of stars that have departed out of the NFC altogether, the Cowboys had a real opportunity to take advantage of what was a team last year. While, yes, they lost in disappointing fashion at home to San Francisco and they got punched in the mouth by the 49ers, that's still a team that you look at and you say most of these guys can help us potentially go further and deeper into the playoffs if we're able to fortify our roster by bringing in some guys outside of the guys that we're just bringing back to be able to help us go deeper into the playoffs. This is the time where you go for it. People have come back and said, well, Kevin, maybe last year was the go for it year. Maybe the last 3 or 4 years was the year that the window was open for the Cowboys.
Why?
That's my point exactly.
That's like saying the Rams 2 years ago, oh, you made it to the Super Bowl. Why go for it again? Why are you trading away Jared
Goff?
Jared Goff. Because they're trying to win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. And the point being is when you have a chance to have a season as close as you had with this team, winning the division, winning 12 games, the defense was able to be much better. Obviously, offensively, there were some things that still could be worked on. You go for it even further and try to see if you can not only run it back with most of your guys, but what holes can you fill to be able to improve the team. And I think for a lot of Cowboys fans who are looking at the revolving door of mediocrity and the way that this team continues to handle itself in free agency, they thought maybe this time it would be different given you've got a $40 million quarterback, a pretty good offense, a damn good defense. How close can we get by fortifying our roster instead of in the name of cap space, Cap Boy, trying to figure out the best way to win the damn Cap Bowl? That is what the Cowboys did this offseason by not retaining certain guys based on how good they were last year and how they could have been much better if they decided to go down that road.
Kevin, we got a Cowboy fan from the 972. He wants me to hand you a cold beer, and he wants me to tell you what really happened to the Cowboys in a country Friday night kind of way. This is what happened. He said, we waited till all the pretty girls got asked to the prom. So all we had left was our out-of-town cousin, and we had to take her to save some face. That's what happened to the Cowboys. We waited too damn long. All the pretty girls gone.
Because here's where I go to now. That's good, by the way. That's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Here's where I go to now.
Cold beer?
Because the way that the Cowboys are doing things, I might need to start drinking at this point. When you look at this front office, then, a lot of people continue to question the motivation of this front office. Is it to remain just competitive? Is it to actually try and win a Super Bowl? Because when you look at the moves that they've made relative to the words of Stephen Jones, even Jerry Jones, who said, hey, I will write, there's not a check that I wouldn't write to go win a Super Bowl. Well, apparently your boy has got your wallet all tied up, and that's Stephen Jones, Cat Boy, because he won't go out and do the kinds of things that modern NFL teams are doing to try and win football games. You mentioned the Rams. The Rams didn't sit on their laurels when they got to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. They figured out, how can we get better because we don't think that we can get back to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff. Other teams, the Buffalo Bills, they looked at their offseason. Man, the Kansas City Chiefs took us offensively. We were able to keep up with them offensively, but we needed one stop. Von Miller was out here getting stops in the playoffs. Maybe we overpaid for him, but guess what? We're going for it because we're close. That's what good teams do. They not just draft well. Not only do they just draft well, not only are they able to home grow their talent, but they're able to supplement their teams with good, smart free agent signings that will get them either close or over the top to be able to potentially win a championship. It doesn't feel like the Cowboys are in the business of doing that when they just wait until the second and third waves of free agency when most of the most talented guys are gone and they try to sell us. Here's where I'm at, because I just got to keep going now. Here's where I'm at, Peyton. I'm tired of the Cowboys playing you and I for stupid.
Woo!
Like, we're not dumb here.
No, we're not.
We've seen this movie
That's
for
why the fans are mad.
The last 10 years. Like, they think the Cowboys fans are tired of their intelligence being insulted by this franchise. And I think I mentioned that for a lot of people who are tired of getting played for stupid, because we're not. And the Cowboys continue to put themselves in position to make themselves look like they're the smartest guys in the room. Catboy thinks he's the smartest guy in the room by trying to win the cap year over year. You're not. You're continuing to put this team in position to be in mediocre. Let's just win the NFC East. That's good enough for us. That's not good enough. That's not what the standard is for this football team.
Not in 2022.
It's not ever been the standard for this team.
If you say you're going to the Super Bowl, if you got the public believing that the Super Bowl is your birthright, no, it's not good enough. Here's what's so wild.
I'm sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
Well, we're glad you did.
Oh, boy.
Deservedly so. These great value groceries the Cowboys
great value ass signings. Get the hell out of here, man.
So listen to this.
Jeez.
This is how you know.
I was trying to be positive. I really was. I'm going to try to be positive.
KG.
It's okay.
I'm going to try to be positive later.
There are still Cowboy fans who are going out drinking tonight trying to get this damn week off their mind. This week and last week has made so many. There's one fan that texted in and said, this is like the day after Thanksgiving. Cowboys getting leftovers. Just leftovers everywhere. I'm going to tell you all you need to know about Stephen Jones. This is all you need to know. Jerry Jones would write that check. Jerry Jones is a wildcatter. That's the way he always had done business in the past. He would overpay. He would do it, and then if he messed up, he'd just start all over again. Cowboy fans like, Jerry, put down the check. Jerry, you giving money what? Jerry, you don't know what you're doing. And then, I'm just getting ready to tell you who Stephen Jones is. Stephen Jones is the same guy that back in the day had to fist fight Jerry and hold him up against the wall because Jerry Jones said, I'm about to sign for $13 million. The greatest shutdown corner of all time so we can win another Super Bowl. Deion Sanders. And Steven said, we don't need no Deion Sanders. No, the Cow. We don't need no Deion. Deion don't need to be a Cowboy. All they did was win the damn Super Bowl. Steven. That's who Stephen Jones is. The greatest shutdown corner was too much money for Stephen Jones.
Last thing I'll say on this from the
last time they won a Super Bowl, he said it'll never happen again, and it hasn't. It has never happened again, has it?
No, it hasn't. From the 847, all talk. You'll be watching every game just like every other Cowboys fan. You're damn right. You know why? Because I'm a third-generation Cowboys fan. I'm a journalist. I'm a broadcaster. But more than anything, I'm a fan. It's hard to quit the narcotic, okay? When they've won Super Bowls, when they've won championships, when they've gotten close, 2016, when they've been able to put themselves in position, 2014, where you thought you had a Super Bowl championship team. I'm not going to quit it. It's hard to quit your favorite football team when your family's giving blood, sweat, and tears to the organization. So you're right. I'm going to be watching just like every other Cowboy fan. So don't come at me talking about you all talk. You're not going to be watching. You're right. I'm going to be, number one, I cover the team, so I have to watch the games, okay? So I will be there watching because it's hard to not. What we're doing here, we're trying to keep this organization accountable. That's why we're talking, at least me, that's why we're talking the way that we are, because you don't want to see this team continue to pedal in the mediocrity of not having won a championship in 2.5 decades.
Kevin and all the other Cowboy fans.
I'm sorry. You got it.
Easy. It sounds like a fact that all of y'all are in a toxic relationship with these Cowboys. There's a shelter. You don't have to say your names. You can check into these shelters until you feel safe. If you have to stay there forever, they got a flat screen, but they'll keep it on another game for you. But you, in fact, are involved in a toxic relationship with the Dallas effing Cowboys.